guys, welcome to the In the Game Room podcast. I am in the game room tonight and I am out at the workbench and I'm going to do a little catch-up episode of what's on my bench. What have I been working on? So let's get started. So this, my friends, is Pavlovs House. This is a giant 28mm building kit made by Things from the Basement LLC, and it is an amazing kit. I saw this building being used in a game at Historicon and I posted some pictures of it, and I was sold and I wanted one for myself, so I purchased it, and now I'm at the point where I've just got the basic construction done. Now I've got to get on to some of the details, like the interior staircases and the balconies over here need the railings on them and things like that. But I did get it together to this point so that I could just show you guys what it's looking like. And I don't know if you can get an idea of how big it is, but there it is on my table. The top of the table is 4 feet wide, so you can kind of get a feeling there for how big this thing is. So one of the cool things about this model is that it's all modular. Now this end piece here is all one piece because I haven't glued these on yet, so we'll just move those out of the way. Because it's open on the end, it can just be one piece. But everything else on this model, I think I just killed a guy. No, okay. So everything else on this model stacks. Like, we can take this roof off and then you can actually play inside here. Again, there'll be staircases in here later and they're really quite intricate and cool looking. So this lifts off and then this one lifts off. They all just lift off and they all lock in together. If you got guys on this one here, well, then you just take that guy off and there you go. It's an amazingly detailed kit. I've built it, well, I was going to say I built it kind of, straight out of the box without any modifications, but that's kind of a lie. All the gray stuff that you see on here, all of this trim and the trim around here, anything that's this gray material is stuff that I added. You get back around here where the light's a little better and you can see all this gray stuff on here. That's all raised detailing that I added. It doesn't need it. The model looks awesome without it, but I added it for a couple of different reasons. Along these edges here, these are the corners, and that's where the pieces come together, and there was going to be some puttying and sanding and things like that, and I find that putting trim on the corners like that just cleans that right up. You don't have to deal with any of that puttying and sanding and stuff. And the windows, the under windows, and then these long guys here, those patterns were already engraved into the wood, so it just seemed natural to me that those would be a little bit better if they were three-dimensional and raised up a little bit. So that's why I added all of this trim on here. I don't know how that affects how it looks compared to the actual building, as this is was a real building in World War II, but I'm not terribly concerned with that historical aspect. I just think it makes the model look nicer, and it also it makes building it a little easier, or finishing anyways. So this is what I'm working on right now. This is probably I'm gonna say maybe 4 or 5 hours of work right now to get to this point, but it was really fun, and once you get into it, it's real easy. You have to do a little bit of thinking in advance and planning on how you're going to do things and getting everything laid out on a really big table so you don't get confused with what parts go with which ones. But once you've got that down and you've read the book and you know what you're doing, it's a really fun build. Everything goes together real nice, everything fits good. You guys all know that my primary business is manufacturing terrain, and a lot of what we do is MDF. So it's a little bit unusual for me to buy somebody else's kit, but this is definitely an exception. This is a really, really nice kit. It's, you know, I could have sat down at my computer and designed something very, very similar, or I could have designed something exactly like this probably. But it would have taken me dozens, if not hundreds of hours of design time. So for me to buy this and support the guy that designed it was a no-brainer for me. He did a really great job, and I don't mind throwing money at people that put this much passion into a project. And it's pretty obvious that he did. And again, being somebody that does MDF terrain, as I'm building this, I see a lot of the things he did in the design, and I know why he did them. And I'm thinking the whole time, like, you know, this guy really knows what he's doing, and he did a really good job. And, you know, I'll see something that fits a certain way, and I'll think, yep, that's what I would do. That's the way it should be. So I can't say enough good things about the kit. If you've got the money and you've got the room and you want a big ass building like this that you can pretty much play an entire game inside of and around, then buy this building. Support the guy. His name is George, if I remember right. I hope I'm right. I think his name is George. I met him at Historicon. Real nice guy. And it is Things from the Basement LLC. That's the name of his company. So there you go. Those are the things I'm working on. And we're heading off to a convention next weekend. Okay, this doesn't belong here. Let's move that. This is the board we're going to be using, minus Pavlovs House, because that won't be done. But this is the board we're going to be using for our bolt action game on Sunday night at Strategicon. And these are some of the forces. I'm going to expand on this. We did a little test game using just these. What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dice. I want to get it up to about 7 or 8 dice and get each one of these units a little bigger, and then we'll be able to get some more players on this table. But this is what we're going to be playing with the objective at the middle of the bridge. So that's about it for tonight. You're all caught up with what's going on here in the game room and on the workbench. And until next time, keep on gaming.